All three McKinney ISD football teams held the lead in their games last Friday night. The question is, who turned their lead into a win when the clock hit 0? Hello and welcome to Sports Talk. I'm Tyler Sloan. The McKinney Lions fought tooth and nail with Plano East for the entire game, only to come up short in the final minute. Coach Jeff Smith is here to summarize the game and to preview next week's opponent. Coach Mike Fetchie's Bulldogs held a double-digit lead on the road in the second quarter, but found no answer in the second half against Wiley. The McKinney North coach is in studio to break down the highlights with us. The McKinney Boy Broncos won in dramatic fashion against Plano, and that description doesn't do the ending justice. Coach Don Drake will explain the wide range of emotions of an epic fourth quarter. All the exciting MISD highlights are next on Sports Talk. It was another hard-fought game by the McKinney Lions, tooth and nail all the way through against Plano East. They end up losing the game 35-23. I'm joined by their head coach, Jeff Smith. And, Coach, this was a real battle against a quality team in district play. And it was there for a take in the fourth quarter. You had a late touchdown to cut it back within 5 points, made a stop, got the ball back, just couldn't in the end find enough momentum to get past this Plano East Panthers team. Yeah,
it was disappointing. I know our kids were really disappointed after the game with the outcome, as we all were, all the coaches were too, and we felt like it was one that we missed some opportunities and had a chance and kind of let it slip through our fingers. And Plano East does a good job, like everybody in our district does, and we knew that, but we felt like our kids played really, really hard, and we had a chance to win it. Like you said, it came down to just a few plays here and there, as it always does. The difference between winning and losing is just so thin in a lot of our games. And so, but to have a position in the fourth quarter to win, we were proud of our kids for being in that spot. Just wish that it would have turned out that way.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights of this game. And you start out, couldn't ask for a better start. You get an initial pick on the second play of the game. You're right down in their territory, and Tyree Johnson from a couple yards out is going to punch it in.
Yeah, Reed Thompson made a great play on the ball to pick it. We got the ball on the 3-yard line, and then we come out, and Tyree Johnson does a good job getting in the end zone. And so, man, you can't ask for a better start, and we were pretty happy about that.
Yeah, this is 57 seconds into the game, and a second look at the touchdown run from Tyree. You're up 7-0. Plano East comes back after a punt off the side of the foot of your punter, Roberts. They have a short field. They tie it up, but then you come back with a nice long 19-play drive that lasts into the second quarter, but you only get 3 points in the end. They stop you on the goal line. What ended up happening to stall you when you got so close to the end zone?
Well, we just, the red zone, the field, just gets tighter. We tried a couple of plays, one that we felt good about, that we just didn't, quite execute it. They did a pretty good job on defense defending us. We just felt like we needed the points at that point in the game, and so we took those points and executed the P8 or the field goal, and wish we would have had 7, but we took 3.
Early on, you're able to get a couple of stops against Plano East, but they had a difficult offense to be able to contain, and they run that up tempo, and they do it so well.
They do, and we knew that going in. Excuse me. They like to speed the game up, and I thought our offense did a good job controlling the clock, running the ball, and 19-play drive is exactly what we wanted. Those are rare, and that's pretty awesome. Our defense did a good job getting some stops. We got a couple stops early, and then we kind of struggled a little bit stopping them the last 3 possessions they had before half, and then the second half thought we came back and played a lot better defensively.
You led 10-7. They scored quickly right back, and then you answered on a 6-yard or 5-yard touchdown run by Antonio Oliver. Both Antonio and Tommy ran excellent in this game.
They did, and the offensive line blocked well again for another week. I thought that was real positive. They did run the ball tough, and there was some good blocking on the edge. And this is a block right here by John Show Rockamore that really gave us the ball in good field position. We were able to go down and capitalize down here as well.
And here in the second half, Plano East had taken a 21-17 lead. Going into the half, they blocked one of your punts and returned it for a touchdown in the third quarter. That made it an 11-point game at the time, and that was really a big momentum change in the game.
It was. We got the ball to start with. We wanted to go down and score. We had a penalty on that drive. We didn't get the first down, had to punt it away, and then they blocked a punt. And not just blocked it, but scooped it and scored it. And so being down 11, we needed to respond. And I thought our kids did. They did respond pretty well to some of that adversity in the game.
Here's a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter that brings you within 5 to Dalen Willis.
Yeah, that was a great job right there executing that play, and we ran that play pretty well most of the night. Good throw, good catch, good job getting the end zone, and from there we just needed a stop. We had all 3 timeouts. There's a little over 3.5 minutes on the clock, and in our defense, these are the plays that they got stops on. First down, second, and third down, and we used all of our timeouts to preserve as much clock as we could for the offense. And I think there was about 3 minutes to go when we finally got the ball back. And from there, completed a nice play, got it on the plus side, and then had a couple of penalties again, which really hurt us on the night. That put us in a deep hole as far as down and distance, and we just couldn't make it up and had to go for it and didn't get it. And from there, we were trying to strip the ball and trying to get it back, and they popped one on us late with a minute to go. But it was a close game and one that we had a chance, and we just didn't quite get it done.
You mentioned this earlier when we were talking about one of your first half drives that you ended up kicking a field goal in. So many times in the fourth quarter, you had drives that went deep into Plano East territory, or at least to around their 20-yard line. You had a couple field goal attempts that didn't go your way. You had a couple times you went forward on fourth down and couldn't convert. And what was it that Plano East did on defense so effectively? When they had their backs against the wall, they always seemed to come up with a stop against your team.
They did a pretty good job in some coverage, getting some pressure on the quarterback at times where they were forcing bad throws or us not to execute. I think that away from Plano East doing that to us, we kind of hurt ourselves with some penalties, as well. We took points off the board a couple of times in this game where we those points were the difference in the game. And, you hate to see those happen in those critical situations, and it seemed to happen in those situations where we needed to move the ball and had an untimely penalty or we didn't quite execute. And so it was a mixture of things, then again we executed on some really critical downs as well to give ourselves a chance. And in the course of the game, you need more positives than negatives in those type of situations. We need to execute more and not have the penalties too, and to put ourselves in a bad position, down and distance-wise. But, Plano West did a good job in a lot of areas, and we give them some credit as well. And for us, we've got to finish the deal, and hopefully this week we'll get it done against West.
Mentioned your running backs earlier. Taking a look at the stat sheet, Antonio had 94 yards on the ground. Tommy Candela had 82 yards on the ground. Great games from them, and a great game by your quarterback, Brian Sutter, who hasn't had to throw this much in a game for most of the season, but 22 of 34 passing. You can't really ask for much more from your quarterback.
No, he did a good job. He really did, and he's getting better every week. And Tyree comes in and gives us a dimension, and he's getting better every week. And our offensive line, and the 2 running backs have been workhorses for us all year, and block and run the ball well and tough. And I've just been real pleased with what they've been doing, and so we just need to continue to get better, and we're going to need to establish that run game and throw the ball well this week for sure.
You outgained Plano East by about 79 yards in that game, nearly 400 yards for your team. Your defense did a good job against a Plano East team that's very active. They love to spread the ball around. Going to see a similar thing next week with your game against Plano West, a team that is really good, especially on the ground, running the football. What does your defense need to do against the Wolves next week?
Well, they love to run the ball, and they can throw it as well. They've had a few different quarterbacks play just due to injuries and those types of things, but they'll probably all be healthy this week. That's kind of what we're planning, and they've got two tremendous backs and a big offensive line, and so they're gonna run the ball, and that's what they love to do. And so, we're gonna have to do a good job playing gaps and getting up there and tackling and really putting pressure on them and giving them third and long. That's what we really need them into the long down and distance positions, and if we can do that, hopefully we'll force them into doing some things that they don't want to do. And so they're a good football team. They're 4-3. They've won some good games this year. They're going to be hungry to win a game, and I know we are too. I mean, we want to win our first district ball game and get ourselves back in the right position to have a chance to make the playoffs, and that's our goal, and that's the plan. And so we're going to have a great week. It's a short week. We play on Thursday, so we're going to have a great day today and tomorrow in preparation for these guys.
Another thing about Plano West is in their last two games, they gave up 42 points a couple weeks ago to Boyd, and then 77 points last week to Allen. Now, obviously, it is Allen. They're a great team. But there's a lot of room there for your offense to work with. It seems like Plano West's defense hasn't been up to snuff lately. Do you see in your scouting any particular holes against Plano West?
They're big. They're physical. They've given up some big pass plays, but some run plays as well. They're like us. They're trying to get things fixed and learn from things that may break down. But they do a good job over there. They're gonna be ready. And so for us, we need to take advantage of opportunities that we have to move the ball. We've got to be physical this week. That's a big key to the game. From here on out, every game is just being physical up front and on both sides of the ball, and that's what we're going to have to do to beat these guys. But we'll see what happens. I'm sure they're working hard over there as well to shore things up on that side of the ball, and we're going to have to execute at a pretty high level.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming by. I know tough loss last week, but good luck to you against Plano West this upcoming week.
Thanks so much.
Thursday night game at Rompo Stadium for the McKinney Lions. They play Plano West, a team that also is 0-2 in District 10 5A play. Both teams, if they want a chance at the playoffs, need to win this game to give themselves the opportunity to continue to move up in the district standings.